flip in 3, 2, 1.
Nice. Oh, that was awesome.
One of the reasons that I got into photography is because it unlocked unique and interesting life experiences that I wouldn't have had access to otherwise. My first experience of this was getting into the photo pits at concerts of my favorite bands. Thought it was pretty cool. Getting to hang out with the artists backstage or on airplanes was even more fun. Here is a historical photograph of deadmau5 and myself before a flight to Vegas in 2010 at the peak of Ghosts and Stuff and the EDM explosion in North America. To have a seat at that table while Vegas was completely transformed over the next few years was an absolutely incredible life experience. Photography allowed me these opportunities, and maybe it was a little bit of a life hack that I could now create value for artists and people and businesses, so I got invitations that I never would have gotten otherwise. But before I found my way to concert photography, I spent pretty much every single day of the winter snowboarding. I had this lovely 2 megapixel Olympus point and shoot camera. It recorded a 300 pixel wide video with absolutely no sound. Here's me doing a front flip off a box. Then about 15 years ago, I just stopped snowboarding. I spent all of that time building a photography business and a video business, which fortunately unlocked more unique and interesting life experiences like Antarctica, safaris in Kenya, and about 25 trips to Japan so far. This winter, international travel really is not possible, so I am returning to my roots in snowboard filming up here in Canada, and this is a piece of that story.
Welcome to Banff National Park. I forgot my park pass, so I've paid again to enter a park that I have a pass for. Canada's first national park, Banff National Park. We're headed to the first hotel of the park, the Banff Springs Hotel, and there's history there if you want to look it up on the internet. It's too much to get into right now, but it's probably haunted, but also very nice. There's a very nice pool, but the pool might be haunted.
Ooh, it's very beautiful out here.
I'm here to film with Liam Brearly, who's an incredible snowboarder. He's part of the Next Gen Snowboard Canada team. And we are hopefully going to get out to Sunshine, although conditions look a little gusty and maybe not the most ideal. The Sunshine Park is on Divide, which is like basically a huge alpine face. So if it's windy, it might not be the most ideal.
Ooh.
The gear that I brought with me in front of me here, Insta360 One X2. Here's a sample of what we shot last week at this time. I really enjoy using this because it makes my life so much easier that I can focus on not falling and I can just point the camera in any direction. GoPro, this is the Max mod with the Media mod as well, and I love this combination. Basically what the Max Lens mod does is that if I have this on a stick, it's making a horizontal frame regardless of it. Even if I go upside down, it will remain just a completely horizontal frame, so it makes my life a lot easier for, again, riding and not falling. If we're doing something that's actually a setup, this is the Nikon Z7 II, and this is the 24-200, which might seem like the most ridiculous lens ever. It's not an S lens, which means that it probably doesn't scale to the resolution of this camera. This is a 45 plus megapixel camera, but with this, it gives me a lot of versatility. And if I'm shooting even 4K 60, I am totally happy with the quality that's coming off this lens. I feel like Nikon might be not stoked that I suggest this lens so highly, but for out here, when it's just like nice and sunny like this, there's no reason to bring something like the 24-70 2.8 as well as the 70-200, because that just means that my bag is going to be a lot heavier. AirPods to talk to the rider, so rather than using walkie-talkies, the few times that we'll need to connect, we both have AirPods in so we can talk to each other. Extra batteries, it gets cold, these batteries die a little bit quickly. Extra GoPro batteries somewhere as well. I think 4 total of that. And then this is the variable ND Peter McKinnon edition. I honestly don't use this a whole lot. VND, it's a 2 to 5 stop. So basically what that means is that I can get my shutter speed a lot lower, so I can get that nice motion blur. But I have discovered that, at least in snowboard stuff, that I'm fine with adding that through a plugin. I use Real Smart Motion Blur, I think it's called. And basically I add that afterwards, and it makes me happy enough, but then I can still pull very crisp stills from the videos if I need to. Working drives when I travel, these SanDisk 1 terabyte solid state drives, super great, very small, and USB-C to USB-C, so very quick. Rode Video Mic NTG, very happy with this mic. I love the pickup pattern on it, and you have this little wheel in the back here, so depending on how much volume you need, it makes my life a little bit easier. Again, in the field, and it powers on when I turn the camera on, powers off whenever I turn the camera off. I have 3 selfie sticks here. I have the elongated shaft that, this is how I got this shot that kind of looks like a drone. This here is the more normal Insta360 selfie stick that will completely disappear. You'll notice it in the bottom corners of this big guy that it has some bend to it, so it can't erase the entire selfie stick. With this, it does. So if I'm doing something that I want all angles and I don't exactly know what the shot is, or I know what the shot is and the shot is in 2 different directions, and one of the shot is at me and one of them is at the rider, I'm going to be using this. It's also a little bit easier and more ergonomic to use. And then with the GoPro, I love the Grande stick. It's kind of remarkably expensive for a selfie stick, but it's wearing gloves out on the hill. It's very nice to use, and I prefer this over everything else, but I need these. And then as far as bag goes, I have this Burton AK bag. What I kind of set this up, at least in the, we're not in the backcountry today, so usually if we're in the backcountry, I'll have my shovel, my probe in here, and my beacon on my body somewhere, and then I'll have my camera right down in here, and it fits really nicely. It's like surprisingly ergonomic. The pouch is kind of like this, so basically it fits perfectly right there. Don't fall on your back when you're riding. Or you might damage this, although I've fallen a few times and it's been totally fine. In here I have a surprise, the 10.5 millimeter fisheye, and this is the first expensive lens that I ever bought as a photographer. This is a borrowed version of it though. I sold it a little while ago, and I actually love this lens. That this is kind of what got me into photography, that I was like, wow, that fisheye shot looks really cool. And then I got into weddings, and you can't really use a fisheye. You could in weddings, but I don't think it's recommended. So that fits in there. Selfie sticks go in this hole, bigger selfie sticks in the back here, and that's all the things I brought. Good morning. I was not supposed to go snowboarding today. Liam is in Calgary. He comes in tomorrow, and the skies kind of opened up last night, put 30 centimeters fresh snow on the ground, and I'm gonna head out to Lake Louise and hopefully find some friends to film out there, because I don't know, there's got to be something about passing up a powder day and not going riding. Just arrived at Lake Louise, and it is not a busy powder day, which is kind of crazy. I am going to switch up from the GoPro to the Insta360 One X2 on a selfie stick, since I'm here alone and I kind of have to self-film. That way I can actually get angles of me riding, which I think is a pretty cool perspective. So if you ever need to film yourself while doing a task that requires some level of concentration so you don't just bail, the Insta360 One X or a GoPro Max is also a good option for it as well. And as I say, no friends on a powder day. I was supposed to have friends, but there was a bit of a car issue on the way here. So everybody's safe, everybody's in good spirits, but I'll be here alone today. All right, switching over to the Insta360 One X2. Here's a cool thing you can do with it. So as you can see, some distinct advantages when shooting 360. Oh, we stopped.
don't really know this resort very well, so I'm going to follow everyone with the powder boards. So one of the things to be aware of when you're shooting a 360 cam is making sure that no snow is actually sticking to the lens. The best case is basically get the camera actually up to the temperature that you are outside. So if you have a backpack, leave it in the backpack for a run or two and then pull it out. And there's a better chance that the snow is going to bounce off the lens rather than just sticking to it. I've also noticed specifically that the GoPro 360 is a little bit better at this. The GoPro lenses on the GoPro Hero 9, they seem to repel water and they seem to repel snow in a better way than the Insta360, but still fantastic product. And with that said, I believe we've already gotten to the point of the day where I can't really run the Insta360 1x2 because it's just going to get too snowy. So I'm going to go back to the standard GoPro Hero 9, which is my favorite GoPro. It's obvious, it's the new one, so obviously, like, yeah, it's the best. But it really is worth getting. If you have any other GoPro, it's worth the upgrade. I truly do believe. I've also just noticed that this lift takes me a heck of a lot higher than I thought. I thought I was just going to come back up to kind of the run that I just went down, but apparently we're going to the peak through this huge bowl, and I'm not really too scared of heights, but on a somewhat old-timey lift, I feel like I'm pretty high in the air right now. Welcome back to the GoPro, and I definitely feel like I should have a buddy out here, and I should probably have some avalanche equipment. I didn't really realize where I was going when I got on that lift, and now, I don't know, I can see the radio antenna, which means I'm probably at the top of the mountain. But it's pretty much whiteout conditions right now, so I'm a little nervous. I can't see anything this way. There's nothing. Ski patrolling off that way. That's where they're doing some bombing still, so I'm not gonna go that way. This way, also bombing. This way, I guess the only option. So let's maybe do up the backpack and go for a run. I'm gonna verify my backpack is in fact closed. So what you're on right now is the Grande GoPro selfie stick, and you're on the max lens. So basically it means I can rotate my camera entirely around. So right now the GoPro is upside down, full 360, and it still looks like a great frame to you. So it's helpful when you're out chasing people around, like I'm gonna be chasing Liam around, and he goes fast. So to chase him, like I need to have a little bit of help with this. So I like the max lens mod for that. And also the audio mod, the audio you're hearing is from the audio mod. I also set my GoPro audio settings to high, which means it also gives me a waveform audio of the same thing that's recording. And it's actually a much better quality, which is kind of funny. So if you're a GoPro user, you want to up your game, those are the two things that I found. And also locking your white balance to 5500 in these conditions is usually good. Right now I have it set to auto because the sky is kind of changing quite a lot. So let's, no one else has come up this lift, so I don't really know where I am. I hope that I'm okay to go down here. Let's find out. Closed, rocks closed, wind blown. Pure ice face, great. Can't see anything. Can't see what's like a wind lip. You can't see what is ice. And I'm gonna do my best to get back to civilization down here, because I shouldn't have come up here. I guess I gotta go down the sketchy diamonds in the wind and ice. So I'm gonna put this away because this is about to get real. Survived. Made it down, and they've actually closed all the chairs to the peak that I was just at. So I'm happy that I made it. Also, spoiler, I just looked at my phone and just found the trail map and found the easiest way back to civilization. Now I'm on a beautiful green circle, and there's still a lot of powder here, so I'm gonna go for a bit of a run, and you're probably gonna get covered in snow pretty quickly. Insta360 1x2 problems.
Sometimes I think I need to say less. Hard to keep this weight above my chest. They want me to be just like the rest, so I guess I should just say less.
There's been a photo that I've wanted to get for a little while now, and it's just never worked out. I've been here a lot in the winter, but it's just never been the perfect conditions. Basically, what you need is you need a fresh snowfall, similar to what we got last night. So the trees are all nice and frosted, and I can photograph the hotel I'm actually staying at with a little bit of natural contrast in the background. It's not the exact photo that I had in mind. There is snow on the trees, but it's not like that perfect Christmas card shot yet. With me, the Nikon Z7 II, and I have the 24 to 200, which again is a bit of a strange and unusual lens. It just kind of does everything. But as long as you're outside in the world and you got lots of light, it does a pretty fantastic job. And it's getting sunny. I hope that we get some of this sunny weather tomorrow. Actually, we're kind of building a little natural frame right here with a tree.
Do you use natural frames? Frames.
I feel like I might like this a little bit better. I do. There you have it, Nikon Z7 II, really large megapixel file. So I can crop way into it. The other thing that I like about the Z7 II is that it goes down to 64 ISO natively. So you have the low 1 option if you want to go even beyond that, but natively 64 ISO, which is really cool. That's helpful for me specifically, maybe not today, but when I'm out in the world and I'm photographing a wedding or a portrait session and I want to be shooting a lens wide open, because all of the Z series lenses are phenomenal wide open. I'm able to do that a little bit easier. I'm on my way to Canmore right now to get my board tuned for tomorrow, and apparently at Landon's shop they have some crazy machine that just automatically does everything. I've never seen anything like it. I'm excited to check it out. I also want to give a quick shout out to my pants. Craig McMorris sent me a little package of Lululemon things, and in them were the pants that match my jacket exactly, which is both awkward and wonderful. And they are the most comfortable pants that I have ever owned in my entire life as a human being. So shout out Craig McMorris, thank you for the pants. And you can tell that Craig is sponsored by Lululemon, because when we were out in Whistler a couple of weeks ago, rather than doing the quintessential Whistler shot is the bird coming in and eating some seeds or eating some cookie or whatever off of your hand, Craig decides to go upside down and actually have the bird eat off of his foot. So this is the most Lululemon snowboard thing that I've ever seen in my life. So I think that he is the perfect snowboarder for Lululemon to sponsor. Very exciting news. I just got an email. It's a pre-release of the firmware for the Nikon Z6 II, so it includes 4K 60, which is something that I had been waiting for a long time. I have my Nikon Z7 II with me, so I'm headed back to the hotel to switch this over, and then we're gonna head to Landon's shop and finally do a board tune that's probably not even going to be as exciting as I've led it up to believe, but I will be doing it on the Nikon Z6 II with the new firmware, 4K 60, so I'm very excited to have that. So that was a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be. I'm very happy that I actually had the 4K 60 for it, because there was a lot of movement, a lot of water, a lot of lights, and just cool stuff. So very happy. Nikon Z6 II. I haven't reviewed the footage yet, but on the back of the LCD, everything looks great. So I'm going to go review that at the hotel, make sure everything is all good for tomorrow. And then that's all. That's all for today, I guess. See you tomorrow.
No. Oh, yes.
15,000 people jump out of their seats.
recovery!
Music service. Forty love. Advantage.
Oh my goodness. This is a clean winner if it's in. It is in. Done it! What a shot! I did not think it was going to be good enough. Oh, reflexes of a mongoose on amphetamines.
Great forehand.
How to make a snowboard. I feel like we're finally getting it. I feel like we're finally making a snowboard film. Liam Brearly just killing it today. Cliff drops, pillow lines, all kinds of stuff. Back in October, I really had no idea that I would be doing something like this. So it's really, really cool to see that if you just put your passion into something, that you can actually build something and make new partnerships and relationships with people. And it's an interesting experience, this life. See you next time. I expected to exit and move, but